So in this video, we're going to use the Sentro 22 machine to make a knitted Easter egg decoration. So I've got my 22 pin machine. I've got some yarn here. I'm using a yarn cake and I'm using the lemon part of the yarn cake. You'll also need your scissors. You will need either your needle, your plastic needle, but I also like to use a metal needle just for finishing off, and you'll need a plastic egg as well. This is 2.5 inches tall, and you'll see in the comments in the description I've put a link to where you can get hold of a pack of 10 of those. So we're going to thread our machine. So I'm starting on my black pin here. The yarn's going in the middle, and then I'm going around my pin and then around the back, around the front, back, front, all the way round until I come back to the black pin, turning my handle so it's bringing those pins up for me. That needs to go that way, like so. And then we're back to the beginning. So the yarn goes into my tension feeder and that just clips that across. So I'll get some yarn ready. Now on this 22 machine, I don't have a row counter. So we need to make 13 rows on this machine. So whenever we come to the black, that will be 1 row. So there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I'll just slow down, there we go, 13. So I then want to snip the yarn off, leaving a tail, and I'm going to use my small plastic needle that came with the machine. Clip that over, take this to the inside of the machine now, and then we're going to pop our black pin down, pick up that stitch from the inside out, and again turn, collect that stitch, pull through all the way around. And then as you do this, your work then comes off the machine. So as I say, you do need to count. Sorry, I'm doing it the wrong-handed. I wanted you to be able to see. There we go. So 13 rounds. Any colour you like. So I've gone for lemon. You could do white, you could do pink. Duck egg blue would be nice too. Some people like to use the bigger needle and pick up more stitches as you go. I like to do it one by one, so you know you've got it. So it doesn't take long to go around. You can make a nice matching set of these. These are also great to make for your markets, your church fairs, craft fairs, or to make for yourself for your Easter table if you've got a nice white twig tree, or gather some twigs from the garden in a vase. So we're nearly back round to the black peg, and you'll see our work has been falling off into the middle of our machine. So we'll pick that up, and then we don't need the machine for the next part. So we've got this tiny bit of work here that we're just going to pull and stretch. And then where your needle is, you're going to pull that in as you would do if you are making a hat or anything else that requires closing the circle. And then you're going to just secure that end again as you would normally. Pulling it nice and tight so it's not going to come undone. Pulling that through. And then this is the right side of our work, so we're putting the needle through to the wrong side. Again, I like to just do another couple of tacks in the middle so that's not going to come apart. And then we're going to snip that bit. So this is our inside now. So you're going to take your egg, and you've got a wider part of the egg that's going to sit in the bottom. So widest part of the egg sitting in the bottom. So it's like a real egg is sitting in your egg cup. And then you're going to pull this end tight now to close that end. I'm going to snip this down just a little bit because that end was rather long. And I'm going to move now to my metal needle just because it's a bit sharper, and it'll go through the end better. So again, just tack that in there to close that end. Make sure that's nice and secure. And then I'm going to use the wool to make my hanger as well. So we've got the yarn here. Let's take it over to this side, and I leave about sort of about 8 centimeters for your hanger. And then where I've got this end, I'm going to come over again to secure that so it's not going to come undone. Pop that through and snip that off, and then we have got our egg. Now if you are a crocheter, you can crochet a little flower on here. So if I bring in some other eggs I've made in the pink, there's another lemon one, slightly darker lemon. Again, this one is the white and the pink, and what I've done is I've crocheted a little flower. So if you're not a crocheter, then you might want to stick some flowers on. You might want to just leave them as they are. But if you are a crocheter, then in the next part of the video, I'm going to crochet a little flower. So to make my little daisy flower, I've got a 4.5mm hook, that's UK size. All the terms here are going to be in UK crochet terms, and I have some double knit yarn. So I'm making my little slip knot first of all, and I'm going to start by chaining 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to do a double treble. So that's yarn around your hook twice, and my hook's going to go in this very first chain here next to the knot, yarn over again and pull through. So I have now 4 loops on my hook. So yarn's going to go over again, and I'm going to pull through 2, yarn over again, pull through 2, yarn over for the 3rd time and pull through those last 2 stitches. And then I'm going to repeat that again. So a double treble working in the same space, which is going to be the middle of our flower. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through those last 2. So I've got my chain of 4 here, which counts as my first double treble. I've got 2 double trebles. I need a third one now. So yarn over, again into that center space, which is the middle of our flower. Yarn over 2, yarn over the next 2, yarn over the last 2. And to finish this petal, so we're working on 5 petals. So to finish this first petal, I'm going to chain 3, and then I'm going to pop my hook back in that center space, yarn round, and then I've got 2 loops there. The left hand one is going to slip under the right hand one for a slip stitch, and that's the first petal. So for my second petal, I need to chain 4 again, 3 double trebles, so yarn goes round twice, and then we go through 2 loops, 2 loops, 2 loops, and again yarn round hook twice into this middle, yarn round, and then again just pull some slack out of my ball of yarn into that middle. So we're working in that middle space all the time. And then we need to finish with our chain of 3 and pop that through the middle and slip stitch. So that's our second petal. So we're going to carry on until we've got 5 petals. So you're going to repeat this again another 3 times to give you 5 petals, and I'll meet you at the end. So I've got all the way around now, I've got my 5 petals on my flower. So I'm going to pull up a loop and just snip off the end, and then I'm going to pull that through there. Now the thing got some different options here. So you could sew a button into the middle of your flower and then sew it on to your egg. How pretty does that look in the lemon? So I would have like a white or a pink contrasting button in there. Perhaps you may have some little ribbon flowers you could glue gun into the middle. The choice is yours, maybe a little pearl center or some gems or some resins. So the choice is yours. So you can simply just glue gun your flower on and then glue gun your center, or you could sew a button on, you could still glue gun, or you could sew those on there. The other option as well is with your 2 lengths, you could actually tie that round if you wanted to, or use some ribbon to tie round as well. So lots of different options. Have a play with making your Easter eggs. Really nice presents for people, or if you are making and selling, they are going to look beautiful on your stall. So thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like and the subscribe button to follow for more tutorials. Thank you.